Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Johnny Rock Stadium. Welcome to Teamsheet Live. This is our new end-of-season programme we're going to be doing at the back end of the season. Of course, so much to play for with Cheltenham Town in the League Two promotion campaign. And we're here at the Johnny Rocks for another important game. It's Port Vale at home this afternoon to make it 4 wins in a row. Joining me, I'm pleased to say, for our first episode of Teamsheet Live, I've got, of course, our very own Luke Saunders from Cheltenham Town, and also from the Gloucester Live, John Palmer joins us as well. Two very familiar faces I'm sure you're very used to seeing. Thanks very much for joining us live on this stream. We're on our YouTube channel and on the Cheltenham Town website, and we're going to be doing this before every home fixture when the team news comes out ahead of kickoff. So what I will do before we start the debate ahead of kickoff, I will go over the team news, and we'll start with Cheltenham, of course, in goal for the Robins today. Josh Griffiths continues in goal. The back three this afternoon, from right to left, is Charlie Raglan on the right, Ben Tozer in the middle, and then, of course, left-hand side. The wing-backs on the right, Matty Blair, on the left, Chris Hussey. In the midfield three of Connor Thomas, Callum Wright, and Finn Azaz. And up top, once again, is Sam Smith and Alfie May. The Robins bench this afternoon, Scott Flinders is the sub-goalkeeper. Then we've got Grant Horton, Tom Chamberlain, Lewis Freestone, Andy Williams, Indiana Vasilev, and finally, of course, Liam Serkin, who is back in the team and involved on Tuesday night against Southend. And Luke, no surprises perhaps then that Michael Duff has opted to go for the same team, given the fantastic run of form we're in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of what he's got available, I think that is the strongest team. And also on the bench with George Lloyd still not fully recovered, makes sense to go with the same there as well. So, yeah, I think a very strong lineup. 3 wins in the last three clean sheets as well. So yeah, another tough game today, and hopefully another 3 points.
Well, you say tough game. Of course, Port Vale are 21st in League Two. Is that a surprise?
I think it is, given how good they were last season. One of the few teams last season that Cheltenham didn't manage to beat at least once. That they played a 4-3-3 last season. It seemed to work very well against Cheltenham's 3-5-2. We've seen from them lately they've sort of gone to a 3-5-2 since Darryl Clark's come in, and that's because David Worrell, essentially, who's got the most assists in the league, has been missing. So whether they do that today or they move to a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, we'll soon see whether he decides to change the shape of Cheltenham.
Absolutely. And John, you've covered Cheltenham Town, of course, for many years. Where do you rank this promotion potential team out of all the teams that have had that sort of success at the club?
Well, I think this one's put itself in a great position to achieve something that the club's never done before, which is to go up automatically. So you have to go all the way back to 01-02, really, for the closest Cheltenham have ever been to going up automatically. That was obviously gone down as one of the greatest teams Cheltenham ever had, and did it via the playoffs. The 11-12 season had a terrible March. Cheltenham already won a game in March, haven't they? Which is good, because that year they had a terrible March and fell away and ended up having to go into the playoffs in not brilliant form. So this team, it's got the chance to make history. And I think with Duff's temperament, you wouldn't think Cheltenham top of the league. He genuinely doesn't let them, keeps the feet on the ground, doesn't let them get carried away with themselves, as he put it on after the game on Tuesday. And I think, with that temperament and the amount of characters in the squad that will keep everybody grounded, won't let anybody get carried away, I think they've got a great chance of doing it.
364 days ago, we played Port Vale at home here, goalless draw. What a completely different sort of setting. No one could have predicted, even that day, perhaps 12 months on, we'd be still here with an empty stadium.
It's funny how it's worked out, isn't it? Almost exactly a year since the last time this place had a decent amount of fans. I know we had a few back experimenting in December, but what an incredible year it's been in terms of what's happened since then. Nobody would have thought that. I remember the press conference before the Cambridge away game, after the Port Vale game, Michael Duff saying that everyone's waiting for bad news, and you could feel it coming, couldn't you? But when we came here for the Port Vale game on the 7th of March, I don't think anybody could have guessed what was going to happen, how long it would affect the sport for. Thankfully, hopefully, the end is in sight. It's just a real shame that this is such a brilliant team to watch, and there's not any fans here. But it'd be nice to come back to a team in League One, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. We hope the fans are still obviously enjoying the games on iFollow when they get the chance to watch. And Luke, obviously, this time last year, we've had a very special group. How do you think this group compares? Has there been an improvement made, do you think, in terms of recruitment and how the team sort of is this year?
Certainly, I think, in January, it took a while to the end of January for the club to make their signings, but you look at the impact those players that have come into the side have made. We're seeing Sam Smith start today. He's made a really good impact. He's been a physical presence, and he's put the ball in the net twice, as has Callum Wright. That's what you want your attacking signings to do, is score goals. And I think it says a lot that Indiana Vasilev, who's clearly very highly rated at Aston Villa, hasn't quite had a run in the team yet, is testament to the forwards that are out there right now. But in terms of last season, the defensive solidity is still there. What's been really pleasing is since Will Boyle's injury, the club have managed to find a replacement, whether that be through Lewis Freestone or Sean Long, and they've managed to keep the ball out the net still, and they've still managed to retain that set piece threat that they had with Boyle, and we saw that exactly with Long getting on the end of Alfie May's ball at Cambridge. So I think in terms of the points tallies, Cheltenham are 6 points off. I think better off than this stage last season, aren't they? So it's clear that the team is as good, if not better. But the league may perhaps be slightly worse in terms of quality, you could argue. So the club are in a fantastic position at the moment.
Yeah, like you say, as well as the 3 wins going to those 3 clean sheets as well, which is massive. Let's just have a quick look at some of the comments we've had coming in on our live broadcast on Teamsheet Live. Travelman 1983 says, strong lineup, should be 3 points in the bag, or fingers crossed. Ethan Watson says, come on the town. Gloucestershire's Red and White says, come on Cheltenham. And also, come on the boys, get another win. So definitely a huge positivity amongst the fan base at the moment, and surprisingly, John. And let's delve into a bit of history then, because there's 2 figures in the Port Vale team, or setup, I should say, today, John, who have a huge connection to the football club. The first one I'm going to talk about, I think I'm right in saying, maybe your favourite all-time Cheltenham Town player. Am I right in saying that Chris Banks, who of course is now the Port Vale physio, is your favourite player?
Yeah, if pushed, I would have to pick Chris Banks. Yeah, the captain throughout the Steve Cotterill era. So yeah, 3 promotions, nearly 400 games, 400 starts for the club, and it's great to see him having a little wander on the pitch before the game. And he'll have fond memories of coming here in '94 from Bath City for 10 grand, and he retired in '03. Had a knee problem. But yeah, unbelievable player, and it's just amazing that he was at the level that he was when he signed for Cheltenham, because he should have been in the Football League a lot earlier. He had been in the Football League with Exeter and Port Vale as a player early in his career, but yeah, just made it look easy. And he always had a big ball winner, header with the ball next to him, whether it's Mark Freeman or Michael Duff, and later on in his career. But he was the sweeper. He was the one. He was a bit like it's a big compliment to compare Tozer to Banks, but the way Tozer's comfortable on the ball, who can bring it out, very composed. Banks was like that. He could also play centre mid like Tozer. Banks quite often played in midfield in the early days in the Southern League, and just great player to watch. And it's good to see him back.
And we will refer to one other popular former Robbers player in the Port Vale setup in a moment. Just go through a few more comments that have come in. Harry Evans says, come on CTFC, as does Kerry Taylor saying, come on the boys. Luke Barnes, aka Barnesy, says, amazing team, love it, best team for a long time. And also Sam Neal says, imagine if we had Jake Doyle-Hayes in this team as well. Of course, I think we were tempted to try and get Jake back if we could have done, but of course he's now playing his football in Scotland with St Mirren. The other one, of course, in the Port Vale setup, who's got strong Cheltenham connections, John, goalkeeper Scott Brown, who'll be doing everything he can to stop our attackers this afternoon. Again, someone who the fans obviously was here a bit closer to time than Chris Banks, and the fans here are very familiar with as well.
Yeah, I think he's 35 now. Scott Brown, still excellent goalkeeper, one of the best in League Two, I'd say. He's made more Football League starts for Cheltenham Town than any other player. He was here for a decade. Obviously, it took him a little while to break into the team ahead of Shane Higgs, but he was here for a decade. Then, obviously, he came back again on loan from Wycombe and played a massive part in Cheltenham, staying up in 16-17, first season back in the league. But we have been, as people that cover Cheltenham and watch Cheltenham, support Cheltenham, very lucky with goalkeepers over the years. With Steve Book, Shane Higgs, Scott Brown. Trevor Carson was very good for a year. Scott Flinders has been excellent. And obviously Josh Griffiths, I think, has been brilliant this season for a 19-year-old kid. I think he's got a big future ahead of him. But I think arguably Scott Brown is right up there in terms of, because of the length of service, playing in big games, playoff campaigns, big FA Cup games, the way he responded to Jack Butland coming in, where he's on the bench for a while, that brought out the best in Scott Brown. And he's been outstanding. He did really well for Wycombe. He helped Wycombe get promoted, didn't he? And then he left to stay a bit more local to his home. I think he's based in Wolverhampton. Very popular with Vale. It'd be difficult to find a way past him. Couldn't find a way past him here last season, could Cheltenham? So I'll be trying to do that in a few minutes' time, trying to beat him. But it won't be easy because he doesn't make many mistakes.
Yeah, I think he made some good saves at Vale Park earlier this season as well. And some more comments coming in. Toby Holton says, quality all over the pitch. Best Cheltenham team I've seen for a while. Hopefully get the 3 points today. And Harry Evans also says, score prediction is for Cheltenham to win 2-1. Come on the Robins. I think we'll take a 2-1 certainly this afternoon in this one. Luke, the Port Vale team is also out. Are you happy just to quickly run through their starting 11 here at the Johnny Rocks today?
Yeah, of course. So who we've been talking about, Scott Brown, of course, number 1 in goal. Zach Mills will play on the right. Nathan Smith, Leon Legg, who were there last season. Centre back, you've got Matt Crooks. Tom Conlon in midfield. Luke Joyce. Jake Taylor, got Hurst, and then the front two, Curtis Guthrie, someone who has scored against Cheltenham quite a lot in the past, and Devante Rodney, who's Port Vale's top scorer this season with 9 goals.
Yeah, lots of athleticism in that front line, certainly for Port Vale this afternoon. Travel Man 1983 says Jack Belland and Scott Brown, best 2 goalkeepers in the Cheltenham shirt. And we had them at the same time at one point as well. So thanks very much for that comment. But yeah, I think we're coming to the end of our stream here, our pre-match stream. Thanks very much for joining us online. But like I said, we're going to be doing this ahead of every home match, the remainder of this League 2 campaign. A big end to the season for Cheltenham Town. We have different guests joining us as well. We're going to have Michael Duff, hopefully, shortly before kickoff sometimes, and also going to have some players involved as well. So thanks very much for your time. Thank you both, John and Luke. Remember, you can watch today's game on iFollow, ctfc.com. Make sure you buy yourself a match pass. Season ticket holders, you have access to receive the iFollow access already automatically on your account, or with a code you've been emailed. Remember also, you can buy your match program too. There's a digital version. We're now teaming up with Matchday Digital on their app, so you can download it on there, but you can also purchase a physical copy and then have that, you can have that posted out to you after the game as well. But chaps, thank you very much. Fingers crossed for another good afternoon here at the Johnny Rock Stadium. Thanks very much for joining us here on Teamsheet Live.